Hello and welcome back to the city of Atlantis in Cities Skylines. And today we have a lot of work. We are reworking the train lines in our city for maximum capacity. And I'll actually start adding the train line up to the airport here where we are. I tried to do a cargo airport here, but we don't have enough space for it. So I think later on I'll do an actual extra runway for planes to take off. But right now I will just work on expanding the concourse so I can actually add a new train station and then connect that to the city line or city railway network. So I'm just measuring, as you can see, I put down some roads in here, and that's for me to actually measure and get the right angle for the concourse there, so we can have like that following the runway, and that will help with. I'm also adding some stands in there for planes, so I think I'm adding probably two. I think that'll fit in there. Can do more than that. But then we have enough space and I had to align that properly, otherwise that won't work. So I've just put down the train station and now I'm going to do the stand. So I'm using the medium this time and I'll do this right now. Keep in mind that your airport doesn't matter, like if you add 30, 40 aircraft stands, you have to look at your statistics, because if your airport says that you don't have, or most of your seats are empty, then you're probably just wasting money in putting down quite a lot of airport stands. So just keep that in mind. I think that's a good tip, something for you to think about and make sure that you actually look at before just doing expansion, especially depending on how is your budget. So keep an eye on that. That probably will dictate how you expand your airport and when, and that will help you not spending as much money at the beginning, and when you have your airline, you won't, you actually will get more money for your airline because you have more passengers in there. So we just have to just do a small alignment in there, as this was aligning with the road, not with the concourse, but it was really minimum and it was done. Now we're going into our train line. So as you can see, we have a train line on the left and I'm bringing that line from the train station in the airport. The idea is that I'll make a junction into that other line that we have, and then I'll bring that line into the airport. But the thing is, I started doing this and I've ended up most likely rebuilding the whole lines in the city. So basically what happened, I started looking into this and I was like, well, we need to do a train roll in the city, because the city has grown so much. There are lines that are too big or doesn't make any sense where they're going. So we need to look at that and then redo it. I'll give you a full overview at the end of the game. I won't show you every single change as they go, because otherwise that'll be extremely boring and you'll just see me putting down lines and removing, looking into the network, going back, changing. I end up removing all lines for trains and then adding all again, so the way I wanted. I'll show you in a few minutes how that all looks like and where the lines are actually going. Now for this one, this area is the area connecting the city that we are building during the live stream to the industrial area, or to the farm, forestry and oil industries. And this always back up because there's a lot of trains coming and going from here. And then what I'm doing is actually adding a shortcut for cargo trains so they don't need to go through the new city, which is what was happening. So that way we will go straight through this slope going around. Will be obviously, realistically, this would be a very low speed, but it's still faster than going all the way around the city. And then we'll connect back into the network over here. But talking about like trains backing up, I think this is an important point as well. I've noticed that recently, and like recently is not just the airports DLCs, started a little bit before that. We had some trains backing up, and we had like some congestion, some train traffic, and I was like, well, it's been a while since anything changed, and it doesn't make any sense for us to have traffic in there. So what I did, I actually looked, like really looked into the issue, and not just like removing trains and or adding new lines and things like that. I looked where there were those funnels where like trains were going all the same place, and added some tracks. Like on the right side here, you can see that we have a couple more in there, just so we can bypass a station, as we didn't have a bypass through these stations in the industry area. So that will help with that. But then I also noticed that we had an issue, well, I think we still have. Some trains from time to time, they get stuck and they don't move. And then trains starting backing up behind it, which causes trains that are going in the other direction, sometimes they get blocked. And when that happens, no one moves anymore because we just have traffic on both ways. Then that was what was happening. So I looked at that, I was like, oh, okay. So deleted that train, and then everything came back to normal. And then looking more into the issue, I also noticed that sometimes some cargo trains, and it's vanilla trains, it's not like anything custom, they just slow down, like they go, I don't know, 10 kilometers per hour or even less. But it's annoying. And then you have to go there and delete because everything was backing up behind them as well. No reason for that. Look at the tracks. Tracks were properly set up, everything was working, and nothing really to do. Maybe it's just what happened with the city this size. Maybe it's because we are outside the initial 9 tiles, or even that outside the 21 tiles, to be honest, and that might be what's happening. I don't know if that's it, but we will deal with that. I don't think that's a big deal. We just have to keep an eye on this and sometimes remove the trains that are stuck. Otherwise, that's all. Really nothing at all. And we are just coming to the end of this area. And I'm just now leveling up all the terrain around it because it was a little bit weird after I used the network multi-tool to level the lands. The difference between the network multi-tool and move it to level the terrain is that move it you can undo, and the network multi-tool you can't. So you have to go with it. But I like the way it looked at the end, and the slope that I have there. It's not so harsh for trains. It's very subtle. And as I mentioned, looking at the trains, I noticed that we might need more cargo trains. We had this area here at the Little Bay industrial estate, and we didn't have any cargo stations here. It was extremely tricky to find a place for a new cargo station in this area, and this would be really important to improve traffic here in the area and to also provide enough how's it called? enough products. That's the word I'm looking for the commercial, because we have a lot of commercial, especially tourism in this area. So what I'm doing, I'm crossing that road there. So it'll be ground crossing for the train, the first one in the city. This is not too busy around here, so I think we can go with that. And then I'm connecting everything. Now, I think we should jump into the live game, so I can show you all the lines and how this is actually looking. I'll start with this connection here that we created, and we'll take it from there. And here we are. So as you can see, we have a train just arriving in here and going away. There is another one just coming. So when we have like one or two trains coming at the same time, traffic gets backed up a little bit. But adding one of the changes that I've done, I've changed this to asymmetrical roads. So as you can see, you have two lanes going that way, one going this way. That helps quite a lot. Although I feel like we should actually just keep that train going. Otherwise, they will have to merge into the same lane over here, and that won't work for us, I believe. So there you go. I think this would be better, and then they have the option to go straight or turn right in here. So this is good. This is working. Now, where this line goes, you might ask. So let's look at underground. It goes underground here. It crosses via a bridge around here. I'll show you that in a second. And then it connects in here as well, which is quite nice. And it's quite busy. It's slow. There's a lot of curves in this area, but this area is really tricky. And I think that's what you would probably expect when you build a line after the city. And but it just looks like this is pretty cool. Looking at the train going over there. It's pretty nice. And the connection is around here. So we do have like some walls just to hold this up. And I tried to bring this closer, but it wasn't really working. So I stopped over there. I might give it another try, but to be honest, there's nothing in this area. So I wouldn't bother too much about this, to be honest. Now, when I've redone, there we go, we have another. As I was mentioning, there are issues with some trains. Look at this. The train is just stuck in here. And, oh, actually, it's not. It's just waiting. Hold on. Whoops, that's my fault. There they are. They're going. So I think it's just... I think it was backing up before, and I fixed before I came back to the game. So now they are starting to go again. As you can see, this is flowing through now. So yeah, I think we are fine there. It's just a matter of giving them some time to get through this thing, and we will be all right. Now the connection to the airport, as you've seen me building, here it is. I have nothing that I can do about this. This is one of the bugs that we have with the props, so we have to deal with that. This is new. I added this big car park. We still have to do detailing here. I know this. This is not the end of the airport, I promise. There'll be a lot to do. There is also a queue in here, just waiting for those two planes going out at the same time. But I've added this big car park. We do need a big car park, and I thought it would be pretty cool to actually have all this area. I thought about expanding this a little bit more, but I thought, and then I decided to, well, this is more than enough. So pedestrians have ways to crossing over here, or in the middle. There are pathways, and if I select move it, I can probably show you. There we go. We have pathways connecting everything and bringing people into the car park. Some people, there we go. They are crossing over there. Some people will just go through everything. We have some disabled parking in here. We have some electrical parking on the sides. There's plenty of disabled parking, to be honest. and all the other ones, they are a bit further away. For now, it seems like it's enough parking, so I'm happy with this as it is, can't complain, and this is good. Oh, and we do have the taxi stands. We have two in here, two in there. I moved them so they would look like just one, and I think that looks pretty cool. So that's also the new Airport Express asset. So this looks pretty cool actually. I really like this new asset and the livery on the train. Pretty cool stuff. And then we have the connection to our new train station. As you can see, this one goes above ground, under the bridge, and connect over there. This one goes above everything, connect over here. This one also goes above everything and connect over there. So this is working as it should. Now, in terms of there is another change in here. So one of the changes is that I've added this connection. So we could have the trains, a new line that I have added, come through here and not having to go through the city, because now this doesn't connect on both sides. So this is an exclusive connection to this side of town that goes to the zoo and into the commercial district. And then we needed another connection there to make sure that they had the direct connection. Otherwise, what would happen? Trains that are going all the way to... where is that going? I think this one is going to here. So it was going inside here, going through... oh, sorry, it was going through here, coming through the airport, coming through here, in here. This was getting extremely busy and backing up. As you can see, we usually have one train waiting and that's all. No backing up in here or in there as well. So that's pretty good. As soon as this train goes, this one will come in and everything is sorted. And it took me like several hours to get this right, to get especially the lines and number of trains right, because it was complex. Sometimes it gets busy, but then like it takes a second and as you can see, no backing up again and it all works well. Central Station is currently serving 19,000 people. I forgot to see how many we had before, but let's dive into what happened here. So at the moment, we have 1,420 residents and almost the same number of tourists. For the first time ever, since I started playing Cities Skylines, this happened. I never had like more tourists or the same amount of tourists and residents on using the same means of public transportation. Like unless airplanes, because well, there is a lot of people going out and coming into the city, but which is pretty cool as well, seeing that we have 277 tourists coming via airplane. 1,000 using metro, which is fantastic. But looking at let's look at just the trains, because that's what really matters for us. I will remove ferry lines as well. There we go, trains. This is how it's all looking at the moment. As you can see, we have lines that go pretty far away and it's pretty cool. So what have changed in here? First, we now have a clockwise and anti-clockwise train. If we look at this, I've named all the stations or the lines. So Airport Express A for anti-clockwise, Airport Express C for counter-clockwise. For clockwise, not counter. Otherwise, they would go the same way. Anyway, this loop will go from Central Station through the airport, coming back to the airport hills, then to the Space Park. Then we'll go all the way to the Little Bay tourism district and connection to the industrial district as well. Go to the zoological park and then back to the Central Heights. And then there is another line that goes the other way. And they are pretty busy actually. So 289 anti-clockwise, 671 clockwise. And maybe I should show you like in here how this is all looking. As you can see, no trains are full. They get a lot of passengers in some of the stations, so I think we have the right number there. And if we look at the other one, we think we're right, we have less trains. We have a little bit more capacity on those trains, but I'm using the express train on this one, which means that we have less capacity in each train. So I think it balances out. So it's all good. That's working really well. Now for let me remove those two. And actually let's focus on the Central Park to Sing River, or maybe let's look at the Tempera Express, because it goes from here. Goes from the Central Heights, go all the way through here and stop at the Central Park in here, and then keeps going. That's the only stop before Tempera, which is the city that we are building during the live stream, which by the way, every Saturday at 8 p.m. With that out of the way, 8 p.m. also Eastern Standard Time. Now, with that out of the way, we have one more stop, which is on the other side for when we actually expand this. I won't show you how this is looking at the moment, but this is looking awesome. So you should look at the live stream. And then it goes back all the way to the central station again through the same way, basically. So looking at that line, Tempera Express, we have 753 passengers, which is also pretty good. We have more trains because of the distance, but as you can see, we get up to 243, 242, 272. So they are getting used. So it's a good number of trains. Reducing this will make trains full, and adding more will cause traffic. So I'm glad I found the balance, and that this is all that we need. So balance as well. Some of the balance I had with just the number of trains. Some of the balance was changing different types of trains. That's why in a few places we have airport express trains. A few places we have this train Zugflirt, and we have one more, which is the Sydney train. It has just larger capacity. Now for these two other lines, the Central Park to Sing River and the Space Park to Sing River. So they are basically connections between them. So Space Park, I think I used the wrong name there. It wasn't meant to be Central Park, it's Space Park. Let me just quickly fix that. So Central Park there is, it's Space Park. I just read it wrong. That's my fault. So from Central Park, we go all the way over here and we go into that area that we built there. We have the train line over here and that connects to the Central Plaza as well. So this is one of the lines. And another one, that's the smallest line that we have, that goes from here into the Central Plaza as well. Think about this, we might not even need this line. And I can see a lot of trains in there because we do have the tram line connecting it. So what would be the point? How many people is actually using it? 237. It's actually a good number. And there's a lot of people waiting there. So I may keep it. I think it's worth keeping it. They don't want to use the trams. And talking about trams, how many people we do have in there? 607, so it's a lot of people still using trams. So yeah, I'll keep it. That's all right. And looking at the one that goes to the space park, so all the way to the space park, this is busy. As you can see, this train is full. The next one won't be. The next one will be full. So every second train we have one that's full. I could expand this and increase capacity as well, but I think we found a good balance in there. I'm not too worried at the moment. If this grows, if this gets more full trains, then I might do that. Otherwise, I think 4 trains is more than enough here. And as you can see, the other train is arriving at the station at any moment. And there we go, just coming in there. Won't be full. The next one might. So it depends on what happens with the other trains and how many people we get from the space elevator as well. And there we go. This is the overview of the passenger. And I'll actually show you what's happening with the cargo train. So coming from here, here is the new city on the right side, Tempura City. So as I mentioned, trains were going around the city to come back over here. I've built this bypass and it's being used quite a lot, so which is good. Then in here, it's a lot of lines in here, but I like it. I don't think we'll build anything on this side. Maybe if we build something, it would be industrial. And I think this looks really good actually, having all these lines. It's kind of messy, but it's awesome at the same time. So I quite enjoy it. But what I'm doing here, we have one that goes into that station, another one that goes into this station, the last one that goes into that station, that then connects to the heart of the city, basically, where we have our factory and another train station and a lot of industry around here. So this is very isolated. We have a bypass on this station, but this was right here through the bamboo forest. And now this is really isolated, right? So this is the area where they share, but passenger stops here, so we don't have passenger going that way. And then when a cargo station comes in here, they can go straight and join here and go out of the map, or they can turn around in here and there is a cargo station here for the new city as well. So they won't mix with the passenger. As you can see, passenger goes outside, this goes inside, and then they merge in here. I'm just trying to not show you. I might do a showcase of that area when we are done with that later on. But then we do have this line. This is shared between passenger. As you can see, we have passenger train coming in there and some cargo train over here. And this is only for passenger. Cargo can't go there. Cargo will have to go through here, and they'll go out of the city here or out of the city through here. Like, it's a lot further away, but they can use that to go out. So that's cargo. Now, after doing a lot of that, I've noticed that there was a big change in how our metro lines were actually working. So just a brief overview on that. We now have 3,000 residents and 1,000 tourists using metro, which is quite a lot, like a lot more than what we had before. So business line, Belmont district, which is the one that actually connects the airport to, let me show you. It goes basically throughout the whole city. It goes to the Turismo, goes to Long Island, Riverbank, and finish here next to the stadium. So this is the longest line that we have, so no surprise that's actually that busy. And then followed by this green line, which then takes people This is small line, by the way. It takes people from the space park to the airport to the Central Heights, the Central Station. So how good is that? A small line, and we have so many people. Now I actually have to double check if we need more trains in there. Oh, alright, this is one of the areas that I've used the Sydney Metro train, which has capacity for 600. I could actually use a lower capacity, like the 300 and something passenger in here. And I think I'll do that. Select types. And where is that? Oh, for Metro, I might not have it. There we go, underground train, and we have the subway train. I use the underground train. 300 people is more than enough. And I'll remove that, we'll reset, will give me some new metro trains, underground trains, there we go. And we have the same amount of trains in there, but this will work a lot better. Oh, look at how many people. Just love this area and to see how busy this is. And with all the detailing in as well. That's pretty good. I'm looking forward to do the detailing in this area and to finish connecting the back area around here as well. Not completely sure, that's why I'll still left that road in there, just to make it some guides. But, oh, and just one more thing. I've fixed the name of the airline for Atlantis Air. Last time it didn't actually work, so now it's working better. And yeah, there we go. We don't have any policies yet. At the moment, we are not making money, but this goes up to 42,000 more or less. And we have good usage on passenger seats, so that's great. That means that they're using all the stands. All planes that come here are not full, but almost full, which is quite nice. But I could actually, there we go, income is increasing now. I could do something like hotel discounts, or maybe, I think hotel discounts, we can try it to see if we can actually make more money. I'll try it, see how it goes, and I'll tell you in the next episode. So we have almost 7 million. Just if you remember, when we finished building the airport, I had to actually get a loan. Hopefully we've paid that loan back. Loans, yeah, it's all paid back. Oh, I actually didn't get a loan. I played the tax game, like increasing everything to finish the airport. But then we made almost 7 million. So I'll see if that policy is worth it. If it is, I'll let you know in the next episode. I might send a message in my Discord as well, just to let everyone know, or maybe even on my Twitter, so everyone knows. And I think I've added some concrete in here as well, just to make this more airport-like. So this area is fine to have grass, but that area I wasn't happy with that. And we've added one plane inside the hangar. If you saw my Twitter, you've seen this plane over there, which is pretty cool as well. Quite enjoy it. But yeah, there we are. These are our trains and our airport. And with this overhaul, I think all our lines are working much better now. And maybe it gave you some ideas on what you could do or look at when you have trouble with your train lines. Or I highly recommend that you always look into your public transportation after some time building your city, because cities grow. And I just noticed that we have a pillar right there. Let me fix that. But cities grow, and what they need actually changes. So you have to look into that and make sure that everything that you have in your city is actually attending those needs. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed these episodes, and I'm quite happy with what we have in here so far. in next episode, I not completely sure, could be working on a cargo airport, could be just detailing the airport or adding an extra runway, and could also be finishing this area back on where we had the previous airport as well. So if you have any preference, let me know in the comment, and if you like, if you enjoy it, hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.